The Arizona immigration court battle officially begins. Hearings got underway today in Arizona. A federal judge is deciding whether to block the state's new immigration law from going into effect next week. The judge is hearing arguments from the U.S. Justice Department, civil rights groups, and lawyers for Arizona's Governor Jan Brewer. The law in question requires Arizona police to check a person's immigration status if suspicions arise during other law enforcement incidents. For more on this, Jordan Sekulow with the American Center for Law and Justice joins us now from Washington. Jordan, you say the law is constitutional and the Obama administration is overstepping its constitutional authority here and challenging it. How so?
Well, I'll say this, Lee. At the ACLJ, at the American Center for Law and Justice, we're directly involved. We represent 81 members of Congress, senators, congressmen, and women, including a Democrat as well, in defense of the Arizona law. So we're directly involved in this case that began today at filing an amicus brief. What we point out is that after all of the rhetoric about racial profiling and racism and how this could lead to people being targeted because, as President Obama said in one speech, the way they talk, their accent, or the color of their skin, when the Department of Justice filed their lawsuit against the Arizona law, there was not a mention of racial profiling. This whole case, as it stands right now, is before the law goes into effect on July 29th. Their argument is trying to get an injunction that stops that law from going into effect, and it's all about the fact that this may imply and may involve foreign policy, and it hurts our foreign policy goals. But what we've said is very clear, and people out there that know this, that know about the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 involves naturalization, and that's a congressional power, Article 1. Article 2 is the executive power with foreign policy that the court has interpreted. But when we look at this issue, Congress has not said states like Arizona can't pass a law like this. So President Obama is filing a lawsuit that doesn't make a lot of sense based off the rhetoric that he's been spewing out. Jordan,
let me ask you, to what degree is Arizona enforcing their law right now, or have they been intimidated to not enforce it?
This is what this was, Lee. It was actually an attempt to instruct the law enforcement officials in Arizona, which is part of what this law does, requires the police officers there to go through special training and then to empower them. Because right now, as it stands, we know from our own Department of Justice, pretty unbelievable, but they've said they're not going to go after cities which are sanctuary cities, cities where the municipality instructs law enforcement not to report illegal aliens to ICE.
Are Arizona cops enforcing this right now?
This law does not go into effect until July 29th. So that's what this lawsuit's about, trying to stop the law. That's what Obama and the Department of Justice are trying to do, get this law stopped while the fight continues in court.
And what effect is the potential for the law having on immigrants flooding into Arizona? Have they been going to other states?
Listen, what we've heard from law enforcement there is they can tell a difference already, and that they think once this law goes into effect, two things are going to happen. One, the Hispanic community in Arizona is going to find out very quickly that it's not about racial profiling, that someone's not going to stop you because President Obama said you're taking your kids to get ice cream. That's not going to happen, and there won't be a racial profiling suit if this law has the opportunity to go into force. But what it will be is a deterrent, because what it tells illegal immigrants is that if you're coming to Arizona illegally and we find out, we have a system in place now to stop it and to do something about it, and the federal government's admitted they just don't have the time or the resources to do anything about it.
Fascinating. Jordan Sekulow with the ACLJ. Jordan, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.